been so long, long hard days. They don't say God's changed my ways, changed my ways, evil ways. But I can't hide. And I won't hide.
Whoops. Yeah. Wife shenanigans. Pretty good, pretty good. Glad to be on here with you guys. Yeah, unlike last week or the weekend before or whatever, this time I'm actually prepared. So, yeah, we're good.
How's it going?
Oh man, the past week I've been playing the hell out of Road Redemption. That game is so much fun. It's like what was it, Road Rash or whatever for the I think Sega Genesis, the motorcycle kind of combat and racing. Except this is kind of more of a procedural roguelike spin on things. So you'll find different weapons along the way. You'll as your weapons wear out, you'll find new ones and different attributes of the different ones, different levels as you go along. So it's not the same 12 levels every time. It's completely different sorts of stuff. It's super fun. I highly recommend it. It's still in early access now, so you could definitely wait on it. But that I've been playing a lot of, and of course Landmark, the team up stuff. I was just working on that like literally a half hour ago. I was doing like a 5 hour building session. So uh, mostly those, plus a little bit of FTL. I'm starting to get back into it. I'm kind of rusty, but I love that game. How about you guys?
That's you, mate.
A lot of DayZ myself and Robocraft as usual. Yeah, mainly DayZ, kicking around in DayZ. Been kind of playing more of a bandit lately, getting involved in some nasty stuff. But yeah,
Cool, cool. And me, what have I been doing? I started with this war of mine, and I got through it the night before they patched it. I got through it, and then I played it again, and now I cannot get past like day 10. It's just killing me.
oh dear.
So
Um,
I've given up, pretty much.
Was it a balance update?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they sort of balanced it out and made it because you could trade like the trade was pretty easy, but now it's like they're like so hard to trade with, and they want everything for nothing, and everyone gets sick, and oh, terrible.
that's why you take a knife with you every time.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I've been playing that, and I got back into Men of War Assault Squad, which I've been playing. I played it, but I just suck at it. God, I'm terrible. I'm so shit at it. Like it's on easy, and I still can't get through it. It's like, man. Some of these maps too hard.
That one's an RTS, right?
Yeah, yeah. The difference is you can pick individual characters and use the characters to uh, use the characters individually and aim them and and actually drive them yourself. So that's cool. Yeah,
That's
sorry,
fun stuff.
my mic was muted again because I'm just a complete retard, and I always forget to unmute my microphone. It's terrible. It's like I've got to have it fucking tattooed on my forehead or something so I don't forget.
You know, you actually reminded me of a moment for a moment of a game that I played maybe I want to say 15 plus years ago, Savage the Battle for New Earth, where you'd be basically either one general on either side, kind of has the world the Warcraft sort of view, Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2 sort of thing, where you're the bird's eye, you're issuing commands and all that stuff, and all the peons you have under your control, and you control where the buildings go for your faction. But all of the actual combat units are players, and they have to make the decisions for the best strategies for how to defeat the opponents, buying their upgrades and arsenal and that stuff, and even potentially requesting cash from the general to be able to get more goods and be able to beef up and go after the enemies real strong. So that's a super fun sort of game. I'd love to actually almost see not necessarily something quite that precise in H1Z1, but something where somebody has the ability to be able to issue commands in such a way that it's able to be communicated more than just vocally, like even being able to use a little laser spotter or whatever, and they can use special goggles to see where it's at.
Yeah, cool. Sounds cool. Yeah, wicked. All right, shall we move on to the news and posts? I must apologise for everyone tonight. I'm a bit slow, but yeah, we should I should get through it. Fingers crossed. So the first one I'd like to talk about is the Dev Spotlight and Dev Blog, which we've seen on Friday for you guys, which is Saturday for us, and what we thought of it. So who wants to kick off here? Legendary, you want to have a shot at this, man? What do you think of the Spotlight?
I was able to get through the spotlight. I didn't check the blog yet, unfortunately, but the spotlight's got some pretty cool stuff. I heard some stuff in there that makes me feel real confident about where things are going. The fact that they said they've already got a lot of the animations in place, and that they just got some mocap stuff, so they're starting to replace the animations. What that sounds like to me is that they wanted to really push just getting a set of any working animations in for the moment, and then take the time through the early access process to, or during the lifetime of early access rather, to get in all these nice mocap animations and get everything nice for the male and the female and the different types of zombies, and potentially more animations for the animals over time as well. I don't know how those are looking. I haven't really had too much fine detail recently.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Like it was different in the fact like he had a costume changed more times than I think someone at the Emmys would, or Grammys, whatever they are. They always got costume changes. So yeah, it was always quite interesting there. I think H1Z1 Jane actually said, and I sort of took notice, and he said, so they're putting in some more hats and a face do over, and then they into it. For some reason, the sound's not coming through for you guys. I don't know what's happening. Are you guys? Yeah, so you're good? Yeah, oh, it's all good. Cool. So what about
Yeah,
you? Let's go, mate.
I was gonna say I've been able to hear you guys just fine, but I guess that's on the stream that you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It might be one of those nights. What do you think, James? What do you think, mate?
Yeah, it was quite good. Spotlight. Thing that I noticed most about it was talking about the climbing of zombies being able to climb. Which got a lot of attention on Reddit as well. Just about they said that it is something that they've talked about and looking at maybe doing, and there's a few posts that were made. Banter posted about saying perhaps they can just climb over smaller stuff, not necessarily be able to climb ladders and stuff like that, because you wouldn't really expect a zombie to climb a ladder. Maybe be able to even claw their way through a window or something like that, but not necessarily full-on climbing like a player will be able to do.
Yeah, I don't know either about the climbing thing. I'm up in the air about it.
Well, right now, the most tactically relevant piece of terrain you can find in the open field is a waist-high metal rail because you can basically train zombies indefinitely just by jumping from one side to the next. It would make sense for zombies not necessarily to climb over, but if it's something that's waist high that they charge at you and tumble over, some of them stop and, try to make their way around. Some of them just kind of run straight at it and tumble over. So you actually have more vectors than you would have normally had to deal with if they just path around instead of, trying to go through.
And that's what you'd probably expect to see from a zombie, and most zombies, that's what they do. They don't necessarily get around and try and find a path. They'll just try and get to the quickest route that they can see you.
I think some are pathing differently though, aren't they? Some will go around that object and some will just don't walk into it.
Which is going to be good for the game because, if you go in through a front door of a house, you've got to be careful going out the back door because a zombie could have gone around.
Yeah, cool. Didn't even think of that. I'm going to die so much in this game. So
Or a bear.
Or a bear. It will come upstairs like happened to
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, on the dev blog side of it, I haven't read it yet because I've been so busy yesterday and today. But from what I've read, what I've seen, it has to do with that zombie thriller dance. Is that right? Have you?
Yep.
You've read it, haven't you, David?
Yeah, I've had a read through it, and it just basically describes what it takes to animate a character using the zombie thriller dance as an example. Now, I think I remember from way back that they had talked about doing a zombie thriller dance or some zombie dance, and I think this is what they've been doing, perhaps in his spare time over some time now, and it's quite good. Warren posted a video adding the music in as well because, of course, so with legal rights couldn't use the music. So I can't tell you how many times I've watched it, but it's quite funny watching Bob dance to Thriller. So.
It works, eh? It's wicked.
Yeah, it's good.
I enjoyed that. Thanks for that. Man.
If they're really feeling solid with their rig, they could potentially be sending us over Player Studio versions of the skeletons that we can then give our own animations to and have them put those in the game. So other types of dances, other types of attacks or actions. So maybe you have a zombie that, it's a 1 in 100 chance that it's a Player Studio version, and the version that you get this time is the one that instead of swinging its arms, it does like a front kick or something, just randomly.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Kung Fu zombie.
When I seen it, do you know what I thought? I thought, oh, that'd be so cool if you're running through town and then a flash mob of zombies run into the middle and start doing the flash mob doing the Michael Jackson Thriller.
Yes.
That would be funny as. That'd be awesome. I could handle that. Yeah. So,
But I gotta say, definitely on this one, stick to the classics. Thriller. I better not see a zombie doing Gangnam Style. I would. Bad things would happen.
Shit. That'd be funny. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be pretty. Yeah. 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 So, anyone got anything else to add to that Spotlight or Dev blog that they want to put in there?
They talked about a little bit about the animation systems as well, and I thought that was quite neat. How complex the animation system really is, and how it all meshes and melds in together. Where it's not just a matter of doing one animation. That they all, as you turn, and how you turn and how the body moves. Is this whole system integrates and changes things in the body as you press the keys on your keyboard. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual process of setting up a rig, I did that when I was studying 3D animation. That's a hell of a process.
Really?
It's so much fun, but it is so tedious. And
Yeah, right.
the end result is that you basically have a panel of all the different shapes and poses that your character can be in, and you're pretty much blending between the different shapes and poses to do all the different things that you need to do, plus or minus considerations for forward and inverse kinematics for tracking to terrain or other sorts of things. So that part we didn't get into, and I would have loved to, but it we weren't that advanced with the programming, unfortunately. But that's the sort of stuff where it's the next sort of step with things. Now, I guess the other thing to point out with this, in the link, just looking down at the skeleton with all the different points for the zombie, we see it's standing on basically a toe and a heel on both legs. So when the discussion about prone position comes up, consider that almost every single one of those points has to have consideration with ground contact, and a lot of them aren't necessarily designed to normally have that sort of consideration. So, the hips, the knees, the shoulders, the head, the arms, the hands, all of that stuff now comes into play when you go into prone position. That's why prone position is such a brutal and, difficult sort of thing to actually be able to implement, especially to implement really well, have it work properly, and have it be available for really everybody, for players and for AI.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I guess a lot goes into it, eh? That we don't really think about. So,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
mm,
for sure. Especially if you haven't done anything like that before, you don't know what's involved.
yeah. What's your poison tonight, Legendary?
Oh, I think I started with the Jim Beam, but I've also got Jameson on the
Nice,
schedule here.
nice work. Jameson's is always a good job. Very good.
I don't know. I think I gotta go back to things that end in a number at least as high as 12.
Yeah, cool.
I've been on the cheap street for a bit. Now that I got a job, it's back on the good booze.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I hit the tequila last night. Oof, bad idea. Yeah. So, moving on to SOE Legion posted up the vote for the shotgun. Surprise, surprise, C1. I voted E, by the way.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
here.
C&E was a very tight,
It was
close
very
one. I
close towards the end. Yeah.
I actually voted E. I I don't know. I like the gear.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the way it was put together. But yeah. I did notice that E had a late resurgence towards the end, like it was coming like a horse race, it was coming back from behind, galloping on. It didn't quite get there. So I'm hoping that the next vote, the community might actually think about it, because I reckon everyone just went through the things, went, oh, that C looks cool, then took that, and I'm like, have a look.
It's a fluff vote. If they're gonna do them, they're gonna do all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I think it's just a which one do you like the most? I'm pretty sure the plan is to do those. Might actually be functional versions of all of them, and they're just putting that out there just to tease us.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that in there?
Yeah, your video's cut out there.
Is it? Oh, that's what's going on. How's my video's gone? Is it? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't see you
You
anymore.
might have to just deal with it.
I guess so. Sometimes that happens.
I'll fix the stream because it's gone a bit funny. Just chat among yourselves, people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that's the,
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah, the shotguns. I liked the look of those shotguns. We talked to them about them in pretty decent depth on Dead Feature Rant on Tuesday. So yeah, I like them a lot. There's some different properties of them that I think are really interesting. Having the really well manufactured looking stock to it, that looks like that wasn't something somebody crafted, out of a piece of wood that they found, but that they found a piece of stock, a stock somewhere, and that they were able to
That's right.
actually
Yeah.
utilize it, versus the one that's just some rough chunk of tree branch that still has the bark and everything
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
That's just like straight hobo status. I love that. That thing's awesome because I feel like after 3 shots, you should be worried that it's gonna break the next time you fire it,
yeah,
and like the shot's gonna go off somewhere stupid.
yeah, yeah.
But that's the other thing. What do you think about having craftable weapons? Because at the start they did say there wouldn't be any craftable guns, but obviously now we're seeing a craftable shotgun. So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Shotgun's the right word. It's like a potato gun or like a
Mm.
blunderbuss or something. It's just, something where you can create a pressure system and eject stuff out the other end. That's the simplest. It's a crude piece of technology.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I would imagine it has to be used like a blunderbuss. You're not going to be hitting somebody at long range with it.
Yeah,
It's, you're going to be holding somebody up at close range, like, hey, I'm about to put a hole like this big in you unless you give me your stuff.
yeah, yeah. It won't be accurate. I would be very surprised if it was any good after 10 meters. It's literally like you say. It's just a big, just spray pellets. There's
Pretty
no.
much.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be loud as hell too.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
not like a sneaky weapon of any sort.
Yeah. You can put a potato on the end like they do in the movies.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same as what was said on Reddit as well, was the fact that the bow and arrow will still be a primary weapon, but the shotgun just gives you that little bit of close range start off weapon, I suppose, until you can find something a lot better.
Mm. I often wonder.
Also, sorry. Also, did you see the somebody made up a shotgun with a boot and
Yeah.
screwdriver and that?
Yeah.
Kind of had more of a rust look to it, but
Yeah.
it was interesting.
Wasn't it broken? It was in 2 pieces, wasn't it? Or was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a pipe, you open it up, you'd put your shell in, and then close it back up again.
Because don't you fire it just by pulling the thing for back, don't you? Isn't it how? Because there's no trigger mechanism. It's literally just compression to pop.
Yeah,
And it'd
pretty
be like a
much.
nail, be like a nail in the back for the hammer, and you pull that at the what do they call those? The starter. Oh fuck, I can't remember what it's called. I'm not with it. Yeah.
And then you hold on for dear life because that thing's got to have a hell of a fucking kick to it.
Exactly. You'll probably just smack you in the face. Get a big black eye or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Oh man, I just imagine like someone like having to full on like just get all of their weight into the thing before they fire it to make sure that it doesn't take them out too.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm, that would be quite funny.
Of course, you wouldn't really need to aim it. You are firing it from the hip, I would imagine.
Yeah, there'd be no aiming involved. It's literally in the general area and just shoot. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the question is, what's the biggest thing that it can drop? If it could actually feasibly drop a bear with a headshot, that actually makes it a pretty viable thing to have one person in your crew carry around.
Yeah.
Because that might be one like good get out of jail free card.
And how long does it take to reload as well? It might take a long time to reload.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it may. I mean, it's a single shot, obviously. So
Yeah.
you've
So
got one chance.
if you miss that headshot, you've got to run to give yourself
Yep.
that bit of room to be able to reload and turn around and shoot it again.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, you shoot, and that's your job in the crew. Whether or not, if you don't make the shot, well, it's your job to be the guy that's the distraction while the rest of the crew gets away.
Yeah.
But it's your job to deal with the bear either way.
Yeah, you're the sacrificial lamb if you miss. So just so long as you know that when you're carrying that
Yep.
crude weapon around. Yeah.
Now that actually, I just thought about something weird, and it almost I'd never thought about this before. The idea of walking a bicycle next to you while you're going around in H1Z1, so that way you're not like all wobbly and unbalanced on a bicycle. You can be, walking with it, and if something sneaks up on you, you need to get away. You just jump on and start pedaling.
Yeah.
I actually saw a video of some guy who he was biking along in some forest and looks over to his right, and there's this giant fucking like huge bear like over 6 foot, not even standing up on its
Yeah,
legs.
right.
Like,
That's massive.
big fucking bear, and he's just biking for his dear life. 'Cause it looks back at some point. Oh yeah, it's still chasing. It's still chasing. So, yeah, that I could see a bicycle as something you kind of walk with, maybe even use as like temporary storage, and then being able to get on as a getaway device if you need to would be a really neat strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cool idea. It'd be cool if you can search through things while still having it like right near you. That'd be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Not having to leave your bike chained up
Yeah.
outside while you
Yeah.
do stuff inside.
Then you'd go back and it's those padlocks with the code, and if you're like me, you forget
Yeah.
it, and you're like, oh, what was it? I think it was a 9 or 6. Okay, I'll just leave it.
I just imagine some player like getting to the door with the bicycle and like their natural instinct because of biking their entire life is, oh wait, better not bring the bike in and don't
Yeah.
want to track in any mud.
I'm gonna take the front wheel off so no one steals it. Yeah, yeah, that's
Then
it.
they'll take the handlebars instead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'd be tempted to troll someone and just shoot the tires out. Just think that tires.
Slash him with the knife. Don't waste ammo.
Yeah, that's it. All right, so move on.
Only do it with the bullets if you know they're inside a house. It's like you shoot it twice and then on proximity. I shot your tires, asshole.
Yeah, that's for having a cool pimped out bike. That's what you get. Mm, yeah, yeah. So we'll move on to another post from Legion, which was those images with the backgrounds. They were pretty cool and unexpected.
Yeah.
Some
Yes, they
beautiful,
were.
beautiful shots in that. I'm actually very surprised at how good it looks. It's always looked a bit not quite right, and then it looks perfect there.
And
Yeah.
I think they said that they were straight from the game. That the guy who took them has just captured the right angles and stuff like that. He's able to, he knows the right whatever to do to get these nice shots. So it's nice to see. Yeah, it's nice to see some screenshots that haven't been touched up or anything like that.
Yeah.
That we know that they haven't been touched up or anything like that. So
Alert, alert, we have an incoming Krem
Oh,
check.
really? He's not on my friends list, so he's just gonna have to wait.
It'll be it'll
There
be
he is.
interesting to see.
Cool. There it is. Let me sort this out. I will have to sort this window capture.
Yeah, those screenshots. Now, okay, the PAX SOE build, PAX SOE Live build, they said they weren't happy with the lighting there. But when I talked to them at the NVIDIA Game 24 event, which was still using the same build, they said we almost got our new build ready. It's got like way superior lighting. It's going to look amazing. Night's going to be night. Day's going to be day. Volumetric light's going to be properly represented. And I was stoked. And we saw a little bit of it, a couple play sessions, I think, but we didn't really get to see like a lot of the fine detail being shown off. So yeah, those screenshots, and the game can run in 4K, so there's a decent chance they could even pump it higher if they wanted to.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened to Krem. He's gone again.
Oh,
I can't see him.
he'll
Maybe I have seen him again. No idea.
he'll
Sort of that.
be here at some point.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah. Sorry, where were we? I forgot it. Oh, the images. The images.
screenshots, yep.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I was cool. That one with the church was the one with the church one there. That was wicked. I think it was like the sunset behind it. It's been a while since I looked, but yeah, they were cool. Very cool.
yeah, I reckon that was probably my favourite one. That one.
Yeah, it's good. So the Clegg tweet about H1Z1, the question was how do we feel about exploding barrels? And I was very surprised to put it in there because those exploding barrels have been in there from very early on. Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing around with exploding barrels. I think it was in the first stream that they kind of hit some barrels that they were told not to hit, and they exploded.
Yeah.
So we sort of got a glimpse of something that we weren't meant to there, I think. And obviously now they're talking about it again. And there was a good post about that as well. I can't remember if it was on the post or on his Twitter. A bit of discussion about whether it is feasible or not to have barrels exploding, realism versus games. Whether to have it just to leak out fuel and then you have to light it with a fire arrow or something. That's something that I said on there is perhaps you could shoot the barrel, it starts leaking fuel, and then you pull out your arrow, bow and arrow, and shoot off a fire arrow and blow up whoever's around it type thing. So they could do a lot of things with it. Another thing that was mentioned was about rolling barrels down a hill towards somebody's base and then igniting them, or having them line them around somebody's walls and shooting them and then blowing up and being able to access people's bases that way.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Instantly, I thought, okay, I can just roll a barrel down someone's door and light it and blow it up, get in. So I don't know how to get around that.
That's an interesting strategy. Of course, you would have to find some way to be able to get if you've got a barrel that's full of something that's combustible or full of something, at least that, like a fuel like that, it's it's heavy and it's kind of a tricky thing and potentially a risky sort of thing to be able to transport. So it would require you to have either a vehicle or probably like a two-person process or even like some sort of just a furniture dolly or something that you can
Car
tow
or
it
something
around
like that.
on. Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. You're right. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to lift it yourself. There'd be no way you'd be putting that in your backpack. So
There's also a discussion about what happens when a barrel does explode. Does that barrel stay explode, or does it respawn? Clegg,
I'm sure it would respawn.
yeah, Clegg had said that they had it on a 2-hour respawn rate. There was also a bit of discussion about whether they should be craftable or not. Whether you can make your own, especially if you want to use them for raiding and blowing people's bases up. You could make your own and perhaps make a cart or something like that and transport them around.
be very valuable. Be cost a fortune. When in-game items, the value of it to get that like fuel, I guess, and the drum, and there's some sort of ignition system.
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of metal scrap you would
Yeah.
potentially be able to get
Mm.
out from one barrel, that's a hell of a lot. I would imagine people would much prefer just to find a simpler method, like just a tire that you put some dynamite in or something and roll that up.
That's
Be
cool.
probably a lot more cost effective, and I'm sure tires are everywhere.
Yeah, it'd be interesting what they end up doing there, but I guess it'll come through. We'll find out soon enough.
Now, the thing for me with it is, for exploding barrels, if the barrel's contents are able to be ignited, able to be combusted, readily combustible, I could see it exploding. If it's contents under pressure, most definitely I could see it exploding. But definitely not as a default rule. And I feel like if barrels are going to have those kinds of considerations, every single barrel needs to be something that players can assess either as a container or something they could potentially break down for some quick scrap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
barrels shouldn't be something that's just like, oh, there's barrels everywhere. I think they should be maybe almost a rare sort of thing and something that's it's a special sort of thing. It's like you open up a warehouse and there's 5 barrels. It's like, holy shit, there's barrels. They might have oil in them. They might have salted packed fish in them. Who knows? They're barrels.
Yeah, that's it. There you go, my brother. You've made it.
Cremmy.
What is up, guys?
You made the party.
Sorry, I'm late.
Fashionably late, man. Fashionably late.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me just set this up so you guys sort yourselves out there.
He was hanging out with a bunch of ladies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
All right,
A
all
wife
right.
and a couple
So
of sister-in-laws, and
That's all.
yeah. Oh,
Don't
you
ruin
know,
the
I
illusion.
was
Don't ruin the illusion.
yeah,
Don't ruin the
just trying to help you out there.
illusion.
So
watching or listening to some horrible karaoke.
There you go.
So, the Reverend Kremchek, why don't you let the people know about yourself real quick? Sorry, I don't mean to step on you
No,
guys,
go
but
for it, mate. I'm busy. Go for it. Do what you got to do.
Hey,
We talked about
everybody.
that earlier. Yeah, go, mate. Go.
Yes, I am the Reverend Krimchek. I am a full-time streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/Krimchek. You can catch me there. I do a whole bunch of cool stuff. Once H1Z1 hits, which right around the corner, yeah.
I,
I will be doing that a lot, so you could definitely see me there. And the rest is self-explanatory. Just click my name and figure it out.
yeah. I was just
hell yeah.
I was talking to Thaddeus before, and I said that from that tweet, it will come out, and he'll say that it'll be soon. That'll be his comment.
I was gonna make the joke that he meant to say it'll be coming on a Monday, not on Monday.
That's good. I'm nearly there. I'm doing all right.
Yeah. A Monday, yeah.
A Monday. Anyway,
It's gonna be a Monday in June, but it's gonna be Monday.
Oh, that would be so bad.
oh, done. Oh, done here. Hang on.
That kind of does bring us into our next thing is talk about Smed's tweet. H1Z1 early access date is going to be announced Monday, finalising details.
Some Monday.
Whew.
Yes.
I
If
was
he
I was so pumped that I went and I Skyped everyone I knew, and then I noticed that Neuro had already Skyped everyone I knew. I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yep, beat you to it.
Yep. I woke up like 5 hours after that hit. I was like, how long has this been out? He's like, oh, 5 hours. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, that's the same
I'm
for us.
late.
Being in Australia, we wake up and that's the first thing pretty much saw was Smed's tweet there. It was pretty good to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome news to wake up to.
Do you think that they've kind of been pressured into giving a release date with everything that's been going on Reddit lately?
That the
Personally, I don't
CEO is
think so.
being pressured? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
No,
No.
that's good. Yeah.
I just think that it's ready now, or to the point where it's ready enough to come out. So,
Yeah.
Well, Legion's been saying for a while, we've been able to show you a stable, working, playable build on the show floor of all these different shows and stuff for the past little while. That should let you know, we're in good shape with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. And he wasn't lying, that I was just playing it in, September on 4K resolution, and he was just like gloating about, oh man, the next build coming is going to be amazing. Actually, no, I think it was Tom that was gloating about it because he was also there. And they've just been making so much progress. So it's
yeah.
the one thing I thought was probably the last thing that was that they were waiting on was getting all of the netcode and everything, because this is the first time the Forge Light engine has this new version, I should say, of the Forge Light engine has had to deal with both large amounts of players and AI. If we want to talk about the Forge Light engine in terms of predecessors like Free Realms and DCUO, those had different considerations to them. DCUO wasn't even like actually Forge Light. That was actually Unreal 3, but they had used, I believe, some of the similar technology. Free Realms definitely was a precursor to the Forge Light engine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then PlanetSide 2, and then we had the Divergence, the voxel version that we see with EverQuest Next and Landmark. But the non-voxel version, it's diverged instead into H1Z1, and I'm sure we'll eventually see that World War II sim, Storm and Drang or whatever, somewhere down the road, because that's
Yeah.
definitely in the plan.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that back to your question, if he was being pressured to give a release date, it would have been back in when he said it would be out in a month. It would have been 4 months ago that
Yeah,
would
that's
happen.
true.
Them waiting 4 months, it doesn't seem like they're under too much pressure other than to make it right.
I think they've been hinting at it for a little while now. They kept saying, it's almost ready, it's almost ready, and
Yeah.
now hopefully we'll see it.
I think my favorite part of the whole development was them coming into our Dead Feature Rant chat and telling us how they're dying from picking berries and doing all these things that they've screwed up with the build.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite a shock, wasn't it? When the 8 devs
Oh,
rock up.
that was so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was super cool.
I think I was watching it. Oh, I watched
Yeah.
it later,
Yeah.
later that
Yeah,
night.
I was watching it.
And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's awesome. I've been good like that, eh? That's what I like. They make
Yep.
the effort to come on these shows when
Yeah.
they can and all of that, which is cool.
Yeah. Speaking of, they're going to be on Tuesday. Sony Shock is going to be on, and he
Sony
might
Shock,
actually be
yes.
bringing some more people with them.
Oh, we probably will.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You'll have plenty to talk about after
Oh,
Monday.
yeah, we will.
It's going to be a big show.
plenty of content. Yeah. Yeah. Which is good. Yeah. Content's a good thing.
So, what are your release date predictions?
In what way?
A week, 2 weeks, next year?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the position to be doing any predicting.
Yeah, it's
No,
bad.
I remember someone was saying that there was the statement it'll come out 1 week after it's announced.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's true or not, but if they're actually going to have it in our hands and playable for the holidays, on one hand, I'm super stoked about that. On the other hand, I'm super worried that, they're not going to be either they're not going to be taking their holiday break or they're going to take their holiday break and letting it in our hands for this long and all sorts of anything could potentially happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go crazy man prediction and say Wednesday this upcoming week. It's gonna be out,
Wednesday.
and that's gonna be what, the 10th, which means that they're gonna have a good, week or so to try to fix things
Yeah.
before their holiday break.
That'd be nice.
And then it's like, see you later, bitches.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Have fun, guys.
Deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, personally, I don't know. I've got no idea. Like, I thought it would be out now. Could give them a good couple of weeks to get stuff nailed down because it's just gonna. Any sort of early access thing is like.
Yeah.
There's always problems. There's always things.
Oh, it's going to blow up, yeah.
Something to look forward to for after the holidays. If it does land after the holidays, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, it would. Do you guys have much of a break over the Christmas period? Because we have our main holiday over Christmas. I don't know about.
Well, I don't have a job, so I have as much of a break as I want.
Yeah, you have a job. Your job is to stream video games.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is my job, so
Yeah. So he has no break.
Yeah.
I either have all the break or no break, whichever I choose.
Yeah.
It's usually no break.
As for me, I'm at a indie dev studio that's more or less in I'm not going to say grind mode, but there's people working a lot more hours than me on the project. So I don't know that there's going to be that much of a break going on there either. So it's just going to be kind of work through for me, and that's totally fine with me.
Yeah. I need a break. I need all listening piece.
Honestly, getting a job has been a break for me for my I had been doing 45 and a half hours a week, and it's a lot of fun, but then highlights on top of that, managing guests, learning all the information for all the talk shows and everything, so I don't come in without knowing everything. It was a lot of time, so actually this has been a break for me that I got 26 hours and then I can just kind of fuck off all day.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Yep. Me, I've got no idea. Like I said, but I would say a week after. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, that's what Smed had said, that it was going to be, I would say at least a week. So, and as you said, it just depends on when they go on their holiday breaks and whether they want to leave things in people's hands whilst they're on their holiday break.
Yep. That's. I don't know. Be interesting. On the good stuff now, was it? Was that the pour of the good stuff?
Yeah, switch it up to the Jameson.
Yeah.
You know, I can't actually say that one in particular is like really like super amazing over the other.
I tell you,
They're
I had one.
What do you have there?
the Jameson.
What is the other one that you have?
Water.
Oh, Jim Beam.
Oh, you can't see me, but
Oh, okay.
I've got water.
I have root beer right now, but I have Maker's Mark sitting next to me,
Oh, nice.
but it's almost gone.
Yep. As it should be. It should be drank.
Exactly.
I was going to say something. I've forgotten. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. It's not important.
Something about early access dates, probably.
No.
Something about whiskey, probably.
Oh, yes, it was. It was about whiskey. Lagavulin, have you ever tried it? It's the
Oh,
craziest
that
drop.
one's
It's
that
really
one's on
nice.
the list.
It's really nice. It's really expensive, but man, I got given a bottle last Christmas, and geez, it's beautiful drop.
Yeah, Omid Dariani has recommended that one. He's the former brand manager of EverQuest Next in Landmark franchises and a major Scotch aficionado. So that's one that's definitely on his list.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Oh, shall we move on then to the questions for guests? How's that? Someone got organised and it wasn't me.
Oh, look at that.
So do you want to do some questions there, Thaddeus, mate?
Yeah, I can go through them. Let me get them up. All right. I suppose it's for any of you that want to answer. We know that you've been to the SO headquarters from way back at the DevStream Marathon and a few other times and met the devs at events such as SO Live. How would you describe the dev team?
Oh man, you know, it's kind of a funny thing. I would describe the dev team as half people that I already knew from the PlanetSide 2 team who had already tried a lot of the homebrews that I had made, and you know, I had the reputation from that. And the other half, I would say, are a bunch of awesome people. Some of them I've met, some of them I haven't. I actually didn't know Sony Shock before meeting him at the 12-hour event, and he was he was just a very very social person and very upfront about communicating and interacting. So he's been great. Like really working with him has been awesome. So in fact, Kremchek and I are part of his Steam group, or his stream group rather, not Steam group. Well, Steam group too, but
Steam group too.
The streaming group Ignition here on Twitch. So like we hang out with him. He's a cool dude. Other than that, you know, like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just gonna run down a few of the other folks. I don't know if I had a really decent chance to meet Greg Henniger there, but I met him. I got a really good chance to chat with him a lot at the NVIDIA Game 24 event back in September. Folks I did speak to a lot, definitely a lot to Tom. He's awesome. Cycles Make Hurts. Very, very, very knowledgeable person. He does a lot of research on the stuff he's working on too. So good stuff.
Yeah, he scares me a little bit with the stuff he knows.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're so smart. Really? How do you know that?
Well, yeah, I went to SOE Live actually to meet more of the Landmark team because I was a big Landmark fanboy, and which I still am. And I was going just to basically meet them and meet all the streamers and the fans and everything. And I came away being a super H1Z1 fan of the devs, all of that, because they're so cool. They're not. It seems like to me, at least, and I've told people this, and they kind of a lot kind of agree. At least the ones that don't know them more personally than the average person, but they come off more like distant and like celebrity to fan, and it seems like the H1Z1 guys are more like, you know, rah buddies type of thing. Like they'll sit down and talk to you and drink with you and have fun with you and such. And really, I didn't know any of them until then. And you know, we got Sony Shock. Obviously, we hang out with a lot. I have Adam Clegg in my fantasy football team or fantasy football league. Although that generally consists of just yelling at them on Twitter to put his lineup in.
That was, of course,
He's 1-10
the
in my league, by the way.
yeah, no, that was the thing I thought was hilarious. Is like you convinced him to sign up to the fantasy football. It's like he's working on a project that's going into grind mode. There's no way
I
he's
know.
going to be able to manage a team.
I
You're
know,
going to
I
mop
know.
the floor with him and laugh about it.
Yeah, he's 1-10, and I have to yell at him every Sunday morning to make sure that he has all his guys in. But other than that, it's been pretty awesome.
Well,
And we
speaking
got
of
for
yelling at him,
our trophy here is a Seahawks zombie in
That's
nice,
wicked.
for Adam
nice.
Clegg. So that's, I mean, he's not going to win it, but that's why I bought it.
That looks like a freaking Plants vs Zombies zombie.
It does, yeah, it does.
Yeah. The yelling, the yelling H1Z1 and him coming right down the hallway at just absolute perfect timing. That was quite hilarious. He's always somebody else that's great to hang out with and chat about with the project. Jimmy Wizenhunt, he's somebody else we got a chance to chat with a lot, and always great chatting with him. Super awesome guy, really outgoing. Of course, with all of his CS shoutcasting and stuff, he's used to just chatting it up with people and being really social. So really always great hanging out with him. And Radar X Tony, the fact that he's still the PlanetSide 2 community manager, if I'm not mistaken, but he's also heavily involved with the lore for H1Z1. I think that's just such a weird,
it's a
like
different
double
mix.
role sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I randomly talked to a dude in a blue shirt at SOE Live while I was playing H1Z1, and it happened to be a guy on the team. I still don't know who it was, but I
just
talked to him
made
for
it.
hours while I was playing.
Was he a big, tall dude, kind of short,
Yeah,
buzzed
big
hair?
tall dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was probably Radar X. That was probably him.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, you just made him feel about this big. Well, you can't see me because the camera's not working, but you both made him really small. Let's try it out.
Still don't know who he is.
There's some guy working on some game. I don't know.
It was really cool though. He's a really neat guy.
Yeah, wicked. Cool. Right.
You got to play some of the earlier builds of H1Z1. Can you describe what it was like to get your hands in the game, and are there any memorable moments that you could share with us playing the game?
For me, it was amazing. I like survival horror type games, but I'm generally not a crafter. I don't like getting into that kind of system usually, and I jumped right into H1Z1, and it was easy and complex and deep and thorough and simple all at the same time, and it just felt really nice, and I loved it, and I loved researching or like finding new recipes and getting to build new things, and it was just so exciting getting to build my own stuff, and that was pretty cool. And I've, like I said, I've never been a crafter in any game ever. I always hate that type of thing, but it actually made it feel really nice in H1Z1. That's probably what stood out to me most, was that that part of the game could be fun to me, and that's when I knew I was going to continue to be into it. But then I think the one exact moment that stood out to me most is when I was in a house and I heard somebody coming through, and I just stood on a wall on a doorway with my bow, just waiting for him. And he just popped right into the door, and I shot him right through the head and killed him in one shot. And I was just like, yes! And I screamed. I was like, yeah, I got ya! We're in a room with 100 people in it.
You're supposed to have a cool one-liner when you do that shit.
I guess, yeah, got you was good enough for me.
Catch this, bitch.
Yeah, so that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And I think I went on I was just trying to murder people as much as possible. I think I killed 8 people in a row, actual players in a row, before I got massacred. So that was pretty fun.
Sweet.
So the first time I played it, it was 15 years after the zombie apocalypse. There were rusted out cars all in all of the intersection, all of the infrastructure and everything was totally broke down, wore down, looked nasty, looked terrible. That was not even the version of game, not even remotely close to what we have. Plus, on top of that, accessing the drawers, accessing all the containers and everything was a slow, laggy process. Crafting wasn't what it was. The interface wasn't what it was. Nothing's what it was. It just, it felt like it was still just a Planet Side 2 mod that somehow had some AI zombies rigged into it at the very first time that I played it. The next major time that I played it, if I remember the order of events properly, was at E3 earlier this year, and I am going to post my video from that because I had so much fun. This is the video where I ended up on top of a car shooting at a pile of zombies with a AR-15 and just making it look like I'm firing full auto or stuff. I'm a fast clicker, and it was just so much fun spraying the hell out of them. So yeah, I've played so many different builds of it, and the amount of progress that they've made. And that was probably one of my memorable moments right there. Was the getting on the car and just spraying and mowing them down, because that was all in the midst of, if I'm not mistaken, legitimate gameplay. No cheats, no hacks, no nothing. But maybe it was. Maybe it was. Can't remember exactly. I'll have to go back and check the video later. Um, so yeah, that's what it was like. It was amazing, and it was a hell of a lot of fun.
Yep.
Excellent.
Sorry, I've just realised I haven't updated the thing down the bottom of the podcast. It's been running for like an hour with last episode's text on it. So not with it.
I do that all the time. Don't you worry about it.
I didn't even realise. Doesn't matter. Screw it.
Scrolling text at the bottom. People don't even see that. Half the
Yeah.
time, it's hidden by a bar.
Hang on with. That's just.
It's
Carry
all
on.
good. Anyway,
So, are there any memorable moments you've had, Neurotoxin? Playing the game?
oh yeah, well, like the AR-15 on the top of the car shooting the
Yeah.
zombies. That was
Yep.
that was definitely number one. There have been some other fun ones, like getting killed by a bear, because it was just meandering towards me like, oh, I just want to sniff your crotch, and then it just does like the bear, rather the berry chewing animation, like it goes up to a bush and it's chewing on berries, and then I take like 60 damage, and then I die. I know it was like 40 damage or something, and then another 40 damage, then I'm dead. And it's like, well, damn, I didn't realize when they just go up and lick you that you just die like that. But
Well, you wanted to nibble some nuts, but anyway.
yeah.
I'd gotten mauled by a bear because I stupidly thought I could kill it with a bow and arrow by myself, and ended up getting mauled. So I made it a mission to actually kill a bear. And my next try, I saw one stuck in a bridge. It was like stuck in the railing of a bridge. So I went up to it and I was shooting it, and I shot it like 6 times before it broke free and killed me. And that was too bad. But then when I actually killed it, it was the next try after that. I saw a bear, and it was attacking 2 other players, and I was able to shoot it a good 15 to 20 times while it was killing the other players. Right after I killed both of them, the next shot killed it. I was like, yes!
Nice.
I'm the boss.
Yes, I killed a bear with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, well, bears are like a freaking raid boss in H1Z1. Not only
Yeah,
because it takes a lot of resources to take one down, and they're a huge threat to any size of a group, but it's also the fact that you're going to get so many resources from them. All the meat, all the fur, all the fat, all the bone. You're going to be getting you're just going to supply up off of one of those.
Yep.
Yeah, it's balanced pretty well then.
All right. As the host of a popular series of podcasts, what do you enjoy most about doing podcasts?
The drinking.
Well, the drinking's always nice. No, it's being able to connect with the community and being able to, keep things exciting for people that want to keep things exciting, even if there's not really that much news going on. Landmark and H1Z1, I would say, have been lower on the news side of things throughout the entire year. It's been, great stuff going into it, but it's been kind of a slower process, and the rate that the information has been, released to us for H1Z1, likewise the rate that the features have gone into Landmark, it's been a very slow process. So some amount of it is, being able to report on things and connect with the community that way, people that miss some of the news to be able to then, report on and extrapolate on. But really, it's more that extrapolating, being able to take what we know about the project and what we know about stuff that's been discussed recently, and make more discussion out of it, being able to explain things in greater detail, being able to kind of theory craft on some of the possibilities. Some of the things might have helped make the game, better or more interesting, or added more features. I know with Landmark, I've been able to directly affect change in the game through, actually that was actually meeting Felgon and tracking him down at E3. But regardless, I've been having a lot of success, and also the content and creation show, the tour show that I do for Landmark, that's been super influential. All of the style guides they've been doing for the different races and the various event builds and stuff. People tune in and they get a lot of their inspiration and feedback from that show. So it's been great to be, a part of the community and really documenting the process of these games as they've gone along.
Yep.
Sweet.
All right.
Hey, Krem, how about you? You've been on Dead Feature Rant for a few. You're going to be on for a while. What?
Yeah. I think I've been a co-host for a month and a half. Something like
Yeah,
that.
thereabouts.
Yeah, and I think the coolest part to me is having the community there, of course, and the devs hanging out with us all the time, and I would find it hard to believe that what we're doing hasn't changed something so far. Because they're there all the time. They're seeing what people are saying and hearing what we're saying, things that would be cool. And I know that they've come away from those going, wow, that was a great idea. We should do that. Because I've seen them say it in chat. So, yeah, I think that the coolest part is possibly being able to make the game something that's more fun for everybody.
You know what? Crafting from nearby containers, I think, is one that I don't know if they already had it in the plan, but I've been saying about it ever since the 12-hour
Mhm.
event, and it's in. It was announced at the when the 8 devs came on the show, so
Yeah.
like that's super exciting to me. That is a feature that I was really hoping for, and we've got it, and
Hmm.
that's super awesome. Now I'm just waiting for the anvil so we can do all the Looney Tune shenanigans and stuff.
And the cow catcher on the
Yeah,
vehicles.
yeah. I don't think I've had that discussion about the car catcher. Yeah. Sweet. Are there any more then, or we can move on?
Do you have any tips or advice for anyone like ourselves who have just started getting into a podcast, into doing a podcast?
I This is gonna sound like the weirdest advice. It's gonna be, I got two items. One, do not worry if you only got like 5 people that show up to your first one. If you post it on Reddit and it gets like 20 downvotes, because the people on Reddit are sometimes super dicks. Like
Sometimes.
sometimes I just fucking hate them. So, um, it's don't be discouraged if things don't seem like they're as successful. And the other piece of advice I would say, work with the other shows that already exist. Work to promote with them and alongside them. Don't overlap them. There's another show from another community that unfortunately overlaps one of my shows and was done was fully intentionally. It's like, well, That's great, but unfortunately, I can't promote you, and you can't promote me, and we can't be on each other's shows because you decided to, do the same time slot as me, like a dingus. So,
I
you
think, I
know,
think
that's the one other advice I would say is, make sure you're not in a position where you're, competing with somebody else who is doing a podcast for the same game. If they do podcasts for other games at the same time as you, whatever. And if they
yeah,
get butthurt, fuck them.
yeah. We don't
Someone in
have much.
particular,
Yeah,
yeah, that.
we really don't have that problem because we're.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You guys have a very prime time slot in terms of not having to worry about that stuff.
The viewer count's probably not as high because it's middle of the night, but yeah.
We'll work on it. Don't you worry. We'll
Yeah.
eventually get Tom Shank on here or something.
Yeah,
I
There
know
you go.
sometimes we've seen him hang around.
I really don't care about it, viewers. To be fair. I do it for you.
I would,
No.
Honestly,
I would
when the game
say-
actually hits and you've got like all of, Europe and North America and Asia and, obviously Australia and New Zealand, everybody available to tune in, you're going to have a lot more people tuning in, especially if you give away a couple of early access copies or whatever. Fuck, you're going to be having swarming
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I would say my best piece of advice, and better than anything Neural has said, I'm certain, is to find someone that knows what they're doing already and join them.
Awesome work. Awesome work. Yeah. That's how you do it. That's
That's
where we
what
went-
I did.
Well played.
That's where we went wrong. That's what happened. All that work we had to do to set it up and get it all happening. We didn't have to do that. Just had to crash someone else's party.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So, where do you see Dead Feature Rant heading after the release of early access or the full release of the game?
We're gonna be able to talk about gameplay and balance and stuff like that, and be able to have devs on and actually talk about the things that they work on instead of more like community and producers on, where we can kind of like poke and stuff and pick at stuff and beat around the bush, but not really be like these are the items that are this is why they work the way they do. This is things about them that are going to be coming up. What do you think about them? That sort of stuff. That's what I'm really excited for. Is it being a place where we can really instead of talking about waiting for the game to actually talk about the game itself and be able to really help, further influence change and, make the game a better place for everybody.
Yeah. I'm going to guess that once the game comes out and once we have gameplay going, that Neuro just starts to laugh when I start talking. It's like, just start laughing now. No. I think that it's going to be less of a discussion show, honestly, and more of a rant. Because we're just going to be arguing about the things that we're doing rather than discussing the things that we might be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was the comment about the no-dos. I looked up, it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, okay. I was like, geez, at least let me say it first.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to be. It's a whole another layer because we're sort of just topical like at the moment and just on the surface we can't actually get into it. But when we're actually in the game, there was so much.
Yeah, right now we're just pretending that we know stuff. And
I don't pretend I don't. I know I don't know anything. I'm as dumb as I come. Yeah.
I would say I do know stuff. I've played it a few times. I've talked with the devs a few times. I'm not a noob to the SOE process of things. So
yeah.
I've got enough familiarity to be able to talk about it, on all levels with anybody that has no knowledge of it to like super hardcore fanboy that I've never met because he's been spending all of his time learning about H1Z1 and hasn't reached out to anybody.
He's been locked in a dark room, staring at his screen, just trying
Of
to
his own devices.
I'd say I'm probably somewhere in the middle of that. I know a lot. I've played it a lot. I've researched it a lot. I I don't think that anything that Neuro and I have both studied that I know anything more than he does, especially when it comes to games or beer. It's like if he studied it, like he's one of the hardest working people I know. If he studied it, he's probably knows it better than anyone. So, so yeah, I'm probably somewhere in the middle of that. To the layman, I know a lot. To Neuro, probably not so much.
Cool. Very good. Are there any more? Titus?
No, that was all the questions we had.
Already.
Cool.
Short and sweet. That's good.
Actually, I've got a question for you guys.
Well, no, we're not prepared. Hang on.
Well,
Shut it
well,
down!
too
Shut it down!
bad.
Okay, stop it.
So
I'm
I'd
pulling the
actually
cord.
if you guys and I know I've asked this in the past, but what your plans are, like if the North American servers are more populated, do you plan to play there? Do you plan to play just whatever is available and most convenient? What's your guys' goal for that, or is it too hard to say until it's available?
My plan is to go for the highest ping I can find and just drag that server down.
Yeah,
No.
that's what it will all come down to is ping, I suppose, and how many players we do get in Australia. If there's going to be an Australian server, well, then I'd definitely play on the Australian server, but I doubt there's going to be one straight away, not for a while. So I probably will end up jumping on the North American servers as well. And we should do okay for lag-wise and latency-wise, so, but we'll have to just wait and see.
Okay, so Thalius, North America, mishap, Iceland. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, all seriously though, I'd be the same. I reckon we'll end up North American servers if we're allowed in to the access straight away, which is a bit, well, no one's really sure if we are. We know that North America and Europe will have it, but we're not sure about the rest of the world. And then it'll
Well,
be... Go.
I would imagine that the hosting that they have for PlanetSide 2 out there, they would probably just go with the same hosting service.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's only a couple of servers for PlanetSide 2 out here, I think. I was in the beta for that, and we petitioned long and hard to get our own server. So it wasn't terrible though when we were playing North American. It's just what it's like. It's better to have a better ping and get that weird shit happening. Yeah, and our internet's the worst. It's terrible. Our internet's shit ass.
For some reason,
also,
I imagine like less people play music over the voice comms on the Australian servers.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't played it for a very long time, so I couldn't tell you. But I don't think they do. They're all hardcore.
no, I don't think I've ever
super fans.
heard it before. So
Yeah, Americans
be
are
nice.
jerks.
and it also depends on community as well. If we get into North American servers and we really build a community there, well, then I'll continue to play on North American servers as well as Australian servers. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I feel the same, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
all speculation at the moment. So.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, actually, what I'm going to do is find you two, track you down, sneak into the server, change my name, and randomly just start killing you guys.
Oh, you don't know. I am the Reverend Grimcheck. I will have a following that will smite you dead before you get to me.
You'd be like Moses, brother. Yeah, cool. Well, we'll move on to around the Reddit, because it's getting on. I don't want to keep you guys up too much later. I have to.
Oh, I'm streaming after this.
Oh, really? I might come and watch. Watch it out.
What a beast.
Go hard, man. Go hard.
Yep.
Yeah. So, the first one we got is from Resolve HK, and these are from Reddit. I don't know if you guys know exactly what we do, but we just take the posts that we thought were good or have been top that we thought were interesting and just discuss them on the show.
Cool.
The last part. So the first one was from Resolve HK, and he posted that to prevent instant kill on site, make weapons take a short amount of time to unholster and equip. So he's basically saying, make it so that if you are going to unholster a weapon or shoulder a rifle, that it takes time and doesn't instantly just go ding, I'm there, you know. So,
Well, we already have part of that. They already have the kind of ready and relaxed state, so you can't actually attack somebody unless you're in the combat ready state. So there's already a combination of that. Plus, I would imagine there is an access time for all of the weapons. You're not, unless you're physically walking around with the gun in your hand, like ready to shoot at somebody, there's going to be access time to get to that weapon for sure.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, like you say, there's already that state between the firing state and just the carrying state, I guess to call it. So if someone raises their weapon, you know that it's about to pop
But
off.
Have
my
we heard how
question
much
is
time it's going to take to go from that relaxed state to actually shooting?
probably a half second or something. It's probably a quick transition, plus or minus the actual weapon access time.
Hmm.
I can't actually
So-
remember seeing them use it in the stream. I saw them go from the relaxed to the ready position, but I don't remember seeing them go from relax, ready, and then shoot. So,
Right.
but I think if they do something the same as what DayZ does, you see the animation where they grab the gun from the back of their pack or whatever. It gives you time to react, and it's not just instant bang. There's a gun in your face and bang, you're dead.
Right.
You know, you got to have that split second there to give you a chance to go. Crap, he's pulling his gun out. I've got to run, or get some distance and get my own gun out.
Yeah. There's got to
Yeah,
be that time because there's having the relaxed state's going to serve no purpose if the guy can just within a split second still shoot you in the face.
Yeah,
It's just going to basically be a troll tool.
and
Yeah.
in the relaxed, in the relaxed state, he can still hip fire. Is that an option?
No.
So
No.
you have to actually shoulder or get your weapon up to shoot it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's cool.
Now that's sort of a weird sort of thing because I know somebody, depending if you've got one of the really quick deploying knives, you can go from like casually talking to somebody to your literally to your pocket and swinging in one quick gesture and you've cut their throat open. I think Dog Brothers Die Less Often video, he actually does a demonstration of that with a karambit knife. He's able to flip it open and make a lethal swing in basically a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So the idea that things should have different access states, that makes sense. And then another subject that's actually talked about specifically in that video is the idea that if you're a police officer and you've got your weapon holstered versus somebody who's got a knife, even if their knife isn't drawn, they still have the advantage 6 meters or closer. They're probably going to kill you.
Yeah.
They're probably going to stab you to death. Like,
Mhm.
if you try to get that gun out, you have to go for something else.
Yeah,
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it needs to be done. Mate. Otherwise, it's very easy to kill on sight. Otherwise,
Yep.
Especially after all that work you've done, you might have spent hours upon hours, and then you randomly meet somebody, and within a split second, you're dead.
Yeah.
Unless it's a sniper sitting on a hill and you don't see it coming, well, then that's bad luck. But if you're talking to somebody and then bang, you're dead, it's sort of, it feels like those hours and hours and hours are just being wasted because you didn't get a chance to react.
Talking about that, I don't even know if I'm ever going to use that relaxed state. Might just be like, hey, I'm
Well,
cool. I'm
no,
I'm
that's
pointing
the
this
thing
at you, but I'm cool as long as you don't move.
if you never use the relaxed state, you're never going to be able to get away from anything because I'm sure it's going to be one of those things where if you're in a relaxed state, yeah, you can probably sprint, but it's not the same as or if you're in the combat state rather, you can probably sprint, but it's not the same as if you're relaxed. Because we had talked about it previously, the idea of I got a hanger over here. I guess I'll use that as a demonstration. Running with a gun with it is what it is. Running with a gun with with both hands. That's a really difficult sort of thing. Yeah, you can turn and shoot at somebody quickly with your hanger, but to run really, to sprint, and you're kind of leaning forward a little bit with it. So it's a much more awkward sort of thing than if you've got your hanger on your back and you're just running uninhibited.
Oh, look, my question is, what items do you need to craft a hanger?
Take down some wire from a telephone pole or something. I think, I don't know.
A little bit of scrap metal, you melt it down.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
can make a little bow and arrow using a hanger.
There you go.
Oh,
You gotta make sure you get the suction cup arrows, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh, we'll move on,
And that's what most people said on Reddit as well, is that they'll have their gun out anyway, so what difference is it going to make?
Yeah.
But as you said, we've already seen a relaxed and ready combat state, so that sorry, that will make a difference as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Flex just posted a quick question. I think we'll answer it now rather than wait till the end. But he's asked what we all think about the massive downvoting on Reddit. And that's Reddit. What can you do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if they had Reddit without a downvoting mechanic, it would probably actually be useful. But the fact that it's got a downvoting mechanic pretty much nullifies it to troll fodder.
Yeah.
I can see why they have it there, but it does get abused quite a bit.
I've
But
literally used Reddit one time in my life,
yeah.
and that's why.
The only way it could actually work is if you actually ban users who serial downvote things that are on topic, and nobody is going to moderate that.
No.
Yeah.
I've only seen one Reddit community that was actually really positive and helpful, and that's the FTL Reddit community. Those people are lovely. Other than that, it's just been a rotting cesspool for me in most places.
Yeah. Hey, before we go on, can we all click on this link that Flex posted? It's amazing.
Is it? That's my screaming out. I'll do it.
That's where it's at.
Is that also what said? How do we wallpaper that shit?
I know I'm saving it.
Oh, it's saved down already. Yep. So done. Saved. That's funny. Yeah, I've only used Reddit since H1Z1 come along. I never used it before. I think I'd done like 3 posts on it before that. And the only reason I use it now is for H1Z1. Like, I really don't like it. I really don't like it at all.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a failed system, in my opinion, for a game to be using it as a forum, a miniature forum.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll move on to the feel-good post of the week, which is what I've been calling it. And it's the one from Zack Attack Leader, when he was going to do that zombie run, and his family were getting it for his 21st, and then bad luck happened and he couldn't make it. And so Greg Henninger hooked him up with some H1Z1 swag, which was pretty cool. He even got a mask, because he reposted again later this week that he got a mask as well, which was pretty sick. And
Yeah,
that
Bob
one.
there we go.
Yeah. There we go. Pimped out. Yeah. So that was pretty cool, I thought. That's pretty good. Like, they didn't have to do that. So
Yeah, that's right. That's
pretty
good.
That's
good.
one of the things they're like super awesome about hooking up their fans with swag. More than any team I've ever experienced ever. Like most teams, most games, I have to win stuff or I have to be like at an event live. They've just been sending stuff to people and just been really awesome about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quote unquote won this beanie. It wasn't hard, but I stayed alive for 15 minutes in game. But I just mentioned on a dead feature rant one day that I didn't have I didn't have a shirt, and Greg was in there. He's like, "Give me your address, I'll send you one." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You want a hat too?" Yeah. All right, there you go.
You got a game? Give me
Yes.
that.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, I'm still waiting for mine. But we talked to Greg and say We'll see. It'll show up. It might not show up. Australia Post is terrible. Like for
Oh.
national service, this horrible, horrible thing. You can order something from the States. Like if I ordered it on a Thursday, it'll be in Australia on Friday, and then it'll take till the following Thursday to get to me. So yeah, I can get it into Australia and overnight, but they can't get it to me fucking for like another week. It's ridiculous.
Man,
Was
I
that
ordered.
orange juice, Elias?
Sorry?
Orange juice?
No, iced coffee.
Oh, okay. Just kind of looks like an orange juice jug. Go on.
Farmers Union.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I ordered a new microphone and stuff. It's all the way on the other side of the country, the East Coast, and it's stuck. It hasn't moved. It's still there. A week later. Damn. So yeah, no, our mail system sucks too.
Yeah.
I actually was going to tell you, Nora, that I got my mic and stuff yesterday.
Yeah, I
Got
know.
to me
Cool's
like
got
2
his.
days.
Maximilian got his, but I ain't got mine.
You know what? They probably know
Hasn't
you,
even left Jersey yet.
I've probably seen who it was going to, and it's theirs. Theirs. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's legendary. We'll just hold on to this. We'll give everyone
they're
else
like, hey,
theirs. And then
like, hey,
they
do you want 2 day shipping? You can spend $40. And I was like, no, I'll take 5 to 7 days. Got there in 2 days. I was like,
Yeah,
yes,
Yep.
I win.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Oh, we'll move on to the next post. I don't know how to say his name. Christoph Lamb posted H1Z1 hydration. So, hey guys, I want to know if you guys are able to add hydration. Maybe a camelback or something similar, like a rucksack. And maybe a leveling system for the camelback. Like level 1 holds 3 gallons of water. Level 2 holds 6 gallons of water. Something like that. I would be looking forward to maybe something like this.
You're making me thirsty.
Yeah, I might run out of water. But anyway,
I
what do you
mean-
think? A camelback, I think. Personally, I don't think it. Like a bottle of water would be good enough in your backpack.
Mhm.
Unless the only thing I've thought of is if they did like a desert type scenario when they expanded the map and it was a massive distance to walk, then maybe something like that could be useful. But otherwise, it's just not really useful.
Well, it's the sort of thing where I could see people wanting to do that, not necessarily because they plan on consuming all of that water themselves, but because they're a water hoarder and they're using equipment that's specialized for carrying and transporting water. So that way they can, use it as their means to do business. That they, carry around a 3 gallon backpack of water or whatever, and they can charge you, 5 bullets to fill up a water bottle or something stupid like that. I don't know what sort of thing a gold Rolex for a ham sandwich or whatever was one of the trades from Survivor Radio. So, I don't know what the value of anything's actually going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. But you, Thaddeus, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I suppose if they have a use for it, like you said, if they start adding a desert map or something, then yeah. Other than that, I don't really see a use for hydration backpack if you're going to have a canteen or a bottle or something like that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that most people are going to be setting up camp or have some kind of mobile thing that they can set up their rain catcher and things like that, and a couple bottles of water. They'll be fine, unless what you have, if you have what Neuro was talking about, where someone's hoarding it and someone comes by with, that desperately needs water, and you have water. So,
Yeah,
but
could
then
be
again,
fun.
I mean, if you have your rain catcher and all that, and you have the ability to get more water, you're probably going to be okay anyway. So,
I think from what we've seen of the map, there's plenty of water around, and you've got your dew collector and stuff like that.
yeah, I think that adding a system like that to where you are able to store massive amounts of water would just kind of be lazy in a way, because
It would make
it's
sense if we
basically-
actually need to use that water. Like if I'm brewing like a 5 gallon batch of hooch or something, I'm gonna need a lot of water for that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And if your car leaks radiator, like the radiator leaks, you'll need to keep filling that up, you know?
Yeah. But if we're just doing it for like personal use, then it's just basically going to make it to where we don't need to try to get water for 10 hours of gameplay, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Seems
right.
like
As I
it could
said, there
make us
needs to be
lazy.
some use for it. If they do put in a desert type map, well then perhaps they would have it because you're going to travel a long distance with no water, so something like that would come in handy.
Yeah.
And then you also have to consider how much room does that hydration pack take? Is it going to knock off 5 slots from your inventory because of the space that it's going to take?
Well, I
Right.
would think it wouldn't be in your backpack because it's not. It's on your back, so it's its own separate pack. So it's kind of an advantage, I guess.
Well, then perhaps it could slow you down
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'd be happy for
Potentially.
it to slow. If they did something like that, I'd be happy for it to slow you down. It would make sense because you are going to be slower. Yeah. So we'll move on because it's getting late. I want to get this done. So the Flipper 4321 posted, "Can we expect a face remodel for EA?" And
You don't like Bill Yates' face scan?
what?
Bill,
Oh,
so
oh yeah.
Bill Yates is actually the one whose head scan they use for the character model. That's what they're talking about,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. There
Yeah.
was quite a few on that. It's just quite different. I got in a bit of trouble.
That's literally the only reason why the first character that we had available is a white guy, because Bill Yates head scan is what they used, and you're not going to use that and then put it on a pretty African American girl's body. So it's going to be a white guy, white body. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why it is the way it is. There's no political or any other thing. It's just out of convenience. Bill's got a head scan. Great. Use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I didn't know
mean
that.
not only white males are going to survive the apocalypse?
No, apparently, well, at this stage, yeah, yes.
That's not the message that they're trying to put out there.
Not at all.
You think that's trying to subliminally tell us something?
That's
No,
right.
no. I actually haven't seen that much diversity in the other. I guess I haven't really had that much experience. Are the other zombie survival sims and stuff? Do they have a lot more of that diversity, or is it a lot of just white guys in most of them?
DayZ mod, you could have so many different faces. It was funny. Old men, young people, beards, no beards, things like that. That just reminds me of something. You know the video, the YouTube, the dev spotlight. Did you notice the beard that the guy had? He actually
No, I
No,
didn't.
he had
actually.
a beard. He had a beard like probably not 5 o'clock, maybe 10 p.m. or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they look different. So they obviously might be
Starting to support one a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
had we've talked probably too much about this on our show,
Yeah, I wonder
as you
why.
can
Yeah.
tell by Neuro's epicness there.
Is he?
You know, go ahead.
Okay, yes, I was gonna say you not shaving until they put beards in. No, is that what's going on?
I'm not shaving beard ever again. There's no point to it. It's a solidarity beard for all of the people that can't grow a beard, who aren't allowed to grow a beard, whose beard would look so bad that there's just no point, who wishes that their boyfriend or their husband could have a beard or could grow a beard, but just the guy never does it. Whoever, it's a solidarity beard for the masses. Everybody who wishes that they could have a beard, this is the beard for them.
Cool.
He's growing it for me.
Yeah. I can't stand it. I get itchy and then I'm like, oh no, I've got to shave it.
Yeah,
I
a
can't
month
handle
a month later, I was like, I don't itch anymore. This is nice.
That's what gets me is the itching.
Yeah.
I just can't stand
What
it.
gets
so-
me is the patchiness.
it.
You'll get
I'm
there,
still
Krem.
I'm still trying though.
So before you go out, don't you get your wife's makeup and start colouring in the bits that are missing? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I don't think we can talk to me about wife's makeup here.
He just needs a good beard comb over.
Yeah, I
that's it,
do.
that's
And
it.
wait till it starts going like this colour here, grey. It's half grey and half coloured.
I'm
Well,
sorry, I'll get there. Don't you worry. It's starting to get
yeah.
salt and peppery a little for me.
Do you? I'm not.
Yeah, just a little.
I'm pretty blonde in the beard, especially. So it looks pretty sketchy anyway. I also have like blonde patches in my hair that if you get me in the right light, it looks like it's not there.
Yeah,
So I have pictures from when I was younger that looks like my hair is just like a big patch out of it's gone. It's kind of crazy.
Weird.
That's what I'm gonna say. My beard is like too. It's actually full and beautiful. It's just the lighting.
It's just the lighting. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, in DayZ, you get black people, you get Asian people and stuff like that. So I'm sure that later on down the track they're going to add stuff in,
yeah.
and I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with the model that they've got at the moment. I think it's quite good. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Thalius.
Yeah. G'day there. You got a traveller. um. So moving on. Samria posted, rural areas have fences, lots of fences, and then he's gone. Fences are important. They provide visual obstacles and places for deer and people to hide. I don't know how you hide a fence, but anyway. He was just thinking of it and thought it would be a really good idea to implement into the game. And then the only reason I put that in is because then Cycles McHurts actually posted and said, yeah, well, that's true. So I think maybe not in EA, but we're going to see huge paddocks fenced off and fencing everywhere.
I could see fences being an easy way to use the to kind of establish containment. Containment is something I've talked about a lot. The idea that you can't really take over an area unless the game recognizes that after you've, sectioned it off, systematically cleared everything out of there, and you're guarding the perimeters, that nothing should possibly be able to spawn in there. If the game's able to do that, you are actually able to have containment. And I think if the fences and barricades are going to be a part of how that works, that's fine by me. That's a really easy system to be able to understand, and I like that a lot if that's how it's going to go down.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fencing would be, like you say, the game needs to recognise when you have fenced something off and cleared it out, so that the zombies can't spawn in there. But what about items? Do you reckon items should spawn? I personally don't think they should.
Yeah, if you've got containment in an area, there shouldn't be anything spawning at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
nothing at all. It'll make, and it also need to degrade, I guess, like everything else, because otherwise, you can see what's going to happen. There's just going to be
Oh,
fences,
yeah.
fences everywhere.
Well, they'll get busted down by stuff. People will come and destroy them.
Yeah.
People that need, they're trying to make a bow and arrow, they'll kick them down or whatever and use the materials.
Yeah.
hmm
Mm.
I sometimes like to hear stuff break. I don't know. It's a weird thing about me.
I have this fascination with breaking glass. I love hearing it smash.
Yes, me
That's
too.
awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Sometimes
That's
I just walk by, like I'll be playing Minecraft, and a friend will have this amazing castle, and I'm sitting there and I'm running by, and I'm just like, I gotta break that glass, and I'm like, hey, I broke a window, so
Well,
good luck
in the
finding.
zombie apocalypse, that's how you mark your territory. That's how you know you were the first one there, is that you get to be the one to smash the window.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, yeah. I actually, when I was at school, I did work experience at a brewery just to be a smart ass at school, and thought I'd be a smart ass and do work experience at the brewery. And they had this problem with the bottles of beer. I don't know what it was. Anyway, I
They
had
were
they were full. They were done. I had to smash like 3 pallets of stubbies into a shipping container, just throwing stubbies and smashing them because I couldn't use them. It's the best 3 hours of my life.
Yeah, I bet they were probably like something in the lines or something wasn't clean, so there's either
there's
some
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, some cleanser, some soap, or some stuff in there. Yeah. No, I understand that because the thing is, when you're cleaning out one of those tanks, when you're cleaning out a full like industrial brewing system, you're not using soap and hot water and scrubbing. No, those things are welded shut. You're putting like acids and bases and stuff and
Yeah.
harsh, like, human melting chemicals through those things. So. If you then brew through them before everything's been thoroughly rinsed and cleaned and cleared, yeah, that's gonna kill people.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
was
I know
I was
exactly what you're talking about.
I was in tears. I was like throwing out these pallets of piss, smashing the bottles. Yeah, this is not right. Yeah. Anyway, that's off topic. So
Well,
yeah.
that's the yeah.
Mm.
That's
Well, would you
no.
guys expect to see paddocks, fenced off paddocks in anywhere America, out in the rurals of your country?
Hmm. Maybe.
We get a lot of it here because a lot of our land is farming land, so
Mm.
we see it all the time. Lots
Yeah.
of paddocks and fenced off areas.
And Aussies are criminals, so they'll steal
I
anything that's
guess
not bolted down.
I guess we do have a lot of fences and stuff all over the place. Now that I think about driving up and down the freeways and stuff, all along the freeways, there's generally things fenced off. A lot of property is owned by a lot of people that aren't doing a hell of a lot with it. I think about like long stretches of desert that are fenced off that nobody can do anything
Mm-hmm.
with, that could potentially be used for something functional, but the people that own that land, they probably pay like a few bucks a year or something to maintain ownership or whatever, since it's just do nothing land. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's fences all over the place. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, we've on to the Beard of Legend. This is the dude's name. That's the dude's name.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of perfect.
Yeah. He posted blocking with shields! Exclamation
Trash
point.
can lid.
Yeah. Aluminium. Just destroy it. Anyway,
Well,
he's asked if there's any plans to incorporate the shield. And
Sounds good.
yeah,
I really hope so.
he's talking
Yeah.
riot shield or craft my own out of a metal trash can lid. Yeah, or even
Yeah.
wood from a tree chopped down.
Actually, stop signs are really powerful. They're really good, sturdy metal.
Yeah.
Take one of those, just put a couple bolts and some grips on it.
Yeah.
You've got yourself basically a zombie shoving shield.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're very heavy though, so you're not
Yeah.
going to be moving fast.
They're heavy, but they're not like encumberingly heavy. Like I think I've still got one around here somewhere.
I have one
But
on the side of the house.
yeah. But yeah, they and then the other nice thing about it is if you're a real badass, you'll actually sharpen the edges of it too, and then you can actually like,
There you go.
kind of cut things with it too.
Yeah. Right. Cool. Yeah, I think it's cool there. It'd be great that if they incorporate it.
Well, we know there's going to be a police station, so you might be able to find a riot shield and some riot gear. There, we've seen them use riot gear in Walking Dead, so I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
see something like that.
What happened?
Yeah,
to
it
that
makes
right
sense.
there? What happened to that right
Actually-
here in Walking Dead? Did he
Glenn
lose
and
it?
Maggie had it last,
Did he
so I
lose it in
can't
prison?
remember.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Actually, the idea of having a full size like riot shield or something like that, or like even a medieval tower shield or whatever. Basically, you're a person. I think about like the Lemmings games or whatever. You're a person that's able to set down and become a block or become a wall in an area, become kind of physical barricade. So it's the sort of thing I could see somebody being able to do, like whether you carry that or around, or it's just something that you have them laying around your base, and every now and then something might try to make its way in, so you just go and block the door and have somebody else smack it from some slots on the sides or whatever. A lot of that sort of teamwork I really hope we'll be able to see, and a shield is
Yep.
definitely an item that promotes teamwork.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 For sure. I really hope that the game does promote teamwork, and you do have designated people. That'd be so cool. That it evolves into that rather than because you know what it's like at the moment in these survival games, you can just go lone wolf and do it all. Whereas if you need help, it's really what this genre needs is something like that to keep it amusing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, most games like your melee attacks is just going like this in the air, hoping that you're close enough. So, you know.
I saw you get that ready.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming.
yeah.
I also grabbed my drink to make sure I didn't knock it over.
Yeah.
Nice. Good call.
Priorities. Yeah. So he actually went on to say that some would argue that the shield would be OP, so it could come with cons like your character moves slower, or you need to consume more food and drink more often. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
You're not
probably
going to
gonna
have
move
as much
slower,
movability
but
and stuff like that.
There's not
nothing's
going to
gonna
be a
go
lot
be
of.
OP compared to a car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Try to
I
block
think
a car
they-
with a shield.
I'm OP. I'm OP.
I think shields it's a threat rating sort of thing. Like if you're firing a firearm at a stop sign shield, those bullets are probably going to damage it and potentially go
Mhm.
through. Even a bow and arrow can potentially be able to damage or go through. I know a crossbow with a good aluminum bolt would probably be able to get through it. Um, so there's the sort of thing where it's going to be a perfect sturdy enough shield until that person comes at you with a machine gun, and then you're dead, and the next person basically picks up a whole bunch of scrap where your shield used to be. Um, so I don't know, what the durability of the shields is going to be. I don't think they're going to be overpowered because they're going to take a beating, but they'll be beaten up in the process.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I agree. Yeah, yeah. So we just will move on a bit because there's so much to get through. I'm not going to get through. So, expendable posted. I wonder if you can craft meds or ammo. And he goes, hmm. So, what do you reckon? OP to craft it?
Meds, I think,
Well-
would be fine. I'm not sure about ammo. I guess they're going to probably have it craftable, but perhaps you need to find a weapons shop or something like that where you got a bullet press or something like that.
I mean, you can craft arrows. That's ammo. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about bullets, then at some point it'll possibly be in the game once we're a little bit more advanced MacGyver
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
I
advanced
think
materials.
the firearms probably not as much manufacturing ammunition. It's such a specific process, and
Yeah.
it's to be able to do that these days. It's because there's either you're some sort of super crazy like nut. I don't want to say what particular kind of nut because I guess I think like well what like crazy gun anarchist nut or whatever whatever, but there's people out there, just people that from their military days, they like the process of making ammo, so they still make their own ammo when they go hunting. It's a very specific process, and it requires a lot of infrastructure and usually a supply line to get the access to the materials. You're not going to be really manufacturing your own ammunition unless you literally find like a military ammunition manufacturing site or something like that. Bullets, no, but arrows, hell yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's simple.
Improvise.
Anyone can make an arrow.
I think personally, if something like the zombie apocalypse didn't happen, we'd probably see the return of something like the musket, something where it would be gunpowder and a lead bullet, something like that.
Gunpowder and
Something
whatever you
simple.
could fit into it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got that funky
Blunderbuss.
craftable shotgun there
With the boot on
with the boot.
I wonder actually if chemical weapons affect zombies, if you can mustard gas them, or if that would have no effect.
Aren't they dead anyway?
I would think that it would have no effect.
Yeah, I think they would be fine. They would just keep moving on.
Well, I don't necessarily know because something that's going to be full on neurological nerve damage and stuff, like everything gets completely messed up and wrecked and all.
Isn't that what's already happened to them?
Yeah, I would imagine that, but it's happening in a more controlled way. If you're hitting them with like essentially nerve gas, like they're gonna potentially explode, or not necessarily explode, maybe not explode, but
They're
like
just gonna
you know
explode.
they're their muscles all like convulse in freaky ways, and they become all like twisted and horrible, and can't move anymore and stuff. And it looks like the dude with bonitis from Futurama. Um, you know, it'd be interesting to see if that sort of stuff would actually work, because it'd be a huge hazard to actually use that near
Yeah.
players that you don't want to kill.
Yeah.
But at the same
Or near
time,
your own area, or
yeah, exactly. But it kind of harkens back to the days of the World War era. Like, they're really, really crude weapons that are really effective if they can be utilized.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah, I would go more towards something like what Rudnell is saying, like dissolving organic matter. Go for that kind of chemical if I was gonna shoot it at a zombie, just to make sure. If I knew the mustard gas worked, yeah, maybe. But the first try is not going to be mustard gas, unless I have a gun with me also.
Yeah. I mean, we already craft meds in a way, like with the bandages.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep.
you're kind of doing that. He might have been, or she might be talking more like the medicine that you need to keep the H1Z1 away.
Oh,
I
like
would bet that
Swizzle.
we.
The swizzle, yeah. The good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would bet that we can't craft, or that we will never be able to craft those
No,
meds.
I don't think so either. That's too hard. Unless you go find
Yeah.
a pill press. And if you're going to find a pill press, you might as well just start making ease and selling them on the street.
Yeah, I mean, I think of like what an 1800 era chemistry lab, and the sort of crap that they would have and equipment they would have available in like 1900s and like 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. What kind of the tech levels and what sort of stuff would be available, and what sort of stuff you'd actually be able to make with them. And a lot of that stuff, like you go back far enough, and they're just making crude versions. It might work, it might kill you.
Yeah.
But with more modern medicine, if somebody had access to all of the tools and all of the methods and everything, they could potentially make the medicine. But to actually know how to do all of that stuff, my brother's basically like had the lab research of a master's in molecular genetics. My fucking goodness. Good luck. Good
Yeah.
fucking luck, especially without the internet anymore. Fuck. You've got to have been studying that stuff since like 10 years before the zombie apocalypse to even have a chance.
That's it. Yeah.
There's also a thing of if they allow us to craft too much stuff, we don't have to go out and look for it. So it gives you something else that you need to go out and
Yeah.
search for. So you can't just sit in your little home, craft just everything you need, and sit there not safe and sound. You have to get out and find some stuff. And you always see it in the shows as well. They're always going out for loot runs to find medicine or food.
Mm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on. Make this the last one. And it's from Papa's Launch, and he's posted seasons idea. And what he's saying is he thinks it'd be cool to have seasons set about a week apart, and so every month is a whole cycle of, I guess, a year. And with it set to random, I think it would just feel unnatural. Oh yeah, this goes back to that dev spotlight with Ruby Opfer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think generally, I think a week is great. Like if you have a week of cold, a week of summer, because otherwise you'd have to be geared up for everything.
Yeah.
And that
We've
was a
talked
problem.
about this the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That was
we've
the
talked
problem
about this
Yeah.
quite a
for
bit,
up
and I
on
think
Reddit.
our general consensus has been that we are okay with random-ish, as long as it's not going from one the like crazy cold wintry weather, and the next day it's 118 degrees. As long as we're going, there's a progression. If we're gonna do it random, there's got to be, it's got to be between 1 and 3 for this couple days, and it's got to be between 4 and 6 for this couple days.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like it's 1 this day, it's 10 this day, it's back to 1 this day. Everything's just screwed up because of this. That doesn't seem to work. But as long as it's some kind of progression, then I think it'll work fine.
Yeah, the idea.
But I
of
would
saying,
like to see more of a season also. So
y- you go to sleep wearing snow clothes. You wake up and it's like 110, and you're just absolutely cooking. It's like, well, what the hell is going on? It was just snowing a moment ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've actually weren't able to wake up because you died in your sleep from
Oh yeah.
heat exhaustion
Yeah. I
or
wonder
heat
how
stroke.
I wonder how that actually works because it's like from what I understand, it's the tipping over from the next day. So I imagine at 12 a.m. it'll change day. So that day will now be no longer snowing, and then it's instantly sunny and instantly fine. Does the snow stay on the ground or not, or is it gone?
That's what I was thinking as well,
That's a good
actually.
question.
Because it wouldn't just happen like that.
No, it would
Yeah.
break immersion a bit there.
I would just guess that there's some kind of accelerated system to where it's obviously not going to take hours, but it might take a minute or a couple minutes for it to all melt. Because I mean, we're accelerated anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a good bit of heat can melt snow very very quickly anyway. So
Mm,
I would say if it's just a couple minutes to melt the snow, that's fine.
yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So we all agree. It's
Yep.
done. You hear that, SOE? We'll make a decisions for you. You don't have to worry about it. That's
Yeah,
all.
we agree. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, gradual, and something that you can plan for is the major thing with that. Like, just the way it was described, random, that it can be completely polar opposites one day after the other. I don't think anybody wants that. I don't actually even think they want that. I think it might have just been offered as like potentially an example.
Yeah.
But I think gradual transition, and it might be a sort of thing where it's a server rule set sort of thing. Maybe there's some server where it's like, no, we want it to be wintertime all of the time, perpetual nuclear winter, something or other.
Yeah.
Who knows? People are funny.
Yeah. People are funny.
People are
People are funny.
Mm. Yep.
People are funny. Okay, I'm done.
You sure? One more.
Say it again.
One more for the crowd.
People are funny.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool. Oh, well, I might wrap it up there because we're nearly at the 2 hour mark, and I think Neuro's gone delirious.
Well, I think the drinks have actually started kicking in finally.
Yeah, cool. All right, then. Thanks for coming on, guys. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
It's
Really
been
Thank
awesome
you.
to hang out with you guys.
And thanks for making the effort to stay up and do it because I know it's late for you fellas. So cool. And to the Twitch, we're probably going to have a bit of a break in mid-December till the end of December, just because it's Christmas and it's flat out and everything. But we're thinking about doing a podcast next week. What time's yours, Nero? So we can overlap.
Oh yeah, it's geez, it'd be like super early for you
Yeah.
guys at
Oh, no,
3:30 to 5:30 Pacific, so that's what, like 7 a.m. for you guys or
No,
something?
it's normally about about 10 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could totally overlap that.
Yeah, but we're not going to. So yeah, we'll make a decision later in the week as to what we're going to do for that one. But yeah, because we'll be having a break because it's family stuff. So all right, maybe we'll just wrap it up. And where can they find you two dubious citizens?
Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/legendary neurotoxin is the primary place. And of course, at legendary neuro is the Twitter handle where you can find me. So those are probably the best places. If you want to send me a message, the best place is most likely Twitch message. I check the inbox and the other box pretty regularly, at least a few times a week. So best place to get me. You, Kremmy, why don't you let everybody know, you handsome gentleman.
oh well, thank you. Actually, last night I was a pretty princess, but we won't
Yeah,
go
you
there.
were.
I don't want to. I don't want to even go there. I don't want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, so you can find me, of course, at on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kremcheck and at Kremcheck21 on Twitter. Different from Neural, the best place to contact me would be Twitter because I have that open 24/7. So yeah, and I'm awesome.
Just awesome.
Just tell it like it is. I'm done.
What
Yep.
you say is, we can find you.
All right.
If you want to find me, you can find me at Sal69 at Twitter, Salia69 on Twitch, or at our A1P1 website.
Which is there somewhere. Yeah, and me, I'm not even going to bother. I just can't. Right here, just right here. You can find me at PS2_geezer on Twitter. And I usually stream to the A1P1 podcast when I'm streaming, which is not very often because it's too hard to get shit organised. And that's pretty much it, I think. I have my own stream channel, but I don't use it. So, alright, that's it. Thanks, guys, for hanging around and listening to us talk shit.
Pew 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 pew. It's jammed.
Because you crafted it wrong.
Damn it! How do you unjam this thing? I don't even get it.
Alright. Thanks,
Oh
guys.
wait, there we go.
And we'll catch you later.